like a mirror. I need to see whether I'm acting scared or angry.
Notice there's just a little phone in front of her.
Yes.
Thanks, Mel. That was great. Okay. Our technician, John, is currently pulling Mel's performance from the phone onto his machine where everything will be processed locally. We have updated our live link-based mobile app to capture all data at the best resolution possible with the device. MetaHuman Animator uses video and depth data to convert this data into high-fidelity performance animation, and it can even use audio to produce convincing tongue animation. John is currently scrubbing through the take to pick the section that he wants to process.
2 minutes long.
John, are we all good with the data? Awesome. So from now on, it's just a single button click to kick off the processing, which for a performance of this length will take less than a minute to convert into animation. So Mel, while that is processing, let me show you something else.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, this is what we refer to as your MetaHuman DNA.
Cool. And this is generated by the capture we made earlier, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
Sorry,
from
it's
only 3
losing
frames
some
of video and
detail.
depth data, we can generate a rig that predicts all of your facial expressions in just a couple of minutes.
And do you only need to do this once for each actor?
Yes, that's right. It calibrates the solver to your face so that we can produce the performance in a way that faithfully reproduces your original performance.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So let's check back on the processing, which today is on the latest CPU and GPU hardware from AMD. MetaHuman Animator uses a custom epic facial solver and landmark detector. We can interactively look at the animation while it's being solved and compare it to your original performance. So it looks like it's almost finished. After this, it's going to do one more pass to make the curves more stable. Really quick. And from here on, we just need to export the animation. This takes only a few seconds. And then John needs to drop it in the level and add the audio so that we can see the result. So
Here it is.
Mel's MetaHuman should now be ready in the level. Mel, excited to see the results?
Can't wait to see it. I need performance capture to work like a mirror. I need it to capture whether I'm acting scared or angry. And sometimes all I need is a look.
Pretty good. Is that incredible?
Yeah, it reconstituted her hair as well. I noticed when they were digitizing, it had problems with the hair.
Is that or is that
MetaHuman.
what MetaHuman
MetaHuman.
animator from Unreal?
MetaHuman with AI integrated.
Okay. Do you know if they're using the Unreal to do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
that's Unreal Engine.
Meta
Yeah.
Human
that's
animator.
Unreal. MetaHuman is created by the same company that does Unreal. Yeah, it's Unreal. It's an Unreal product.
So it's set up that you can only render it within Unreal Engine.
Unreal.
Ah, okay, cool. But is that amazing in 1 minute?
Pretty good.
That's
Pretty
crazy.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
you. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Today we will have Rick. Rick, do you want to introduce or give us a little bit of your background? We are very curious about you, and we love to learn you more.
I'm just a virtual reality, hobbyist. This is my
I saw there's a wheel there, right?
what?
Wow.
That's my quest to, I'm
Rig.
purely a hobbyist. I was a 3D designer and creative director for.
Wow. Sounds
You got
awesome.
an Oscar on the shelf or something like that?
This was a real-time 3D music visualization application that I worked on as a creative director and content creator and interface designer.
Wow,
that
that
was-
is very
But
cool.
it never really took off commercially, but we got it to product. But it did real-time 3D live performance of music visualization in stereo, and we would project it for audience a long time ago
In stereo 3D?
in stereo 3D.
Cool.
And mandalic kind of studies, and that's the way I used it anyway. kind of in a, anyway, that was a long time ago. But now I'm purely just a 3D hobbyist and a VR hobbyist, and you know, doing Cyberpunk 2077 right now and loving it. Pretty cool.
I do a lot.
The mod, which makes it go 3D. I love golf.
You've got
Plus,
like
so-
a driver modification.
Yeah, they who is it? Luke Ross made a VR modification for a VR mod for Cyberpunk. So it's just amazing because it's like Grand Theft Auto 5, but in 2077.
That's
But
cool.
the level of detail in those things is unbelievable. I like Golf Plus and purely a hobbyist.
There's
primarily. Although
go ahead.
well,
Sorry.
I have some work I'm doing with physics and visualization of sacred space. So I have models where I co-register like the vector equilibrium matrix or the flower of life in 3D and integrate those kind of models purely for my own meditative interest.
Cool. I do a lot of stereoscopic 3D stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm right now interested in a concept with there's thousands of these binaural beat entrainment videos, right? You know, where they have these tones in that. Well, how about a concept if we have binaural audio, why not binaural visual?
Mhm.
So in other words, if we modify the left channel relative to the right channel and modulate it, will that produce some kind of effect that would be complementary to audio entrainment? So it's a little experiment I'm working on.
That's interesting. That's
Mhm.
interesting. Maybe
Very cool.
maybe if you get it going, you can bring it to us and show us.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, so this is a group where we gather together every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, and talk about all the AI. Before it was metaverse, NFT, all those cool stuff last year, but this year it's all about AI. So we are flexible about all the topics that inspire us and let us. Yeah, right now it's AI. Who knows what's next year? So we are not really limited to any
So you're
topics.
an AI
Yeah.
group or a VR group? I thought it was VR.
Yeah. I'm gonna
It's
talk about
converged.
I'm going to talk about the Apple headset today.
Oh,
That and the Meta headset a little bit.
yeah.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, we are kind of like
The MetaQuest 3, I assume you're talking about.
yeah. Quest 3, I think it's pretty cool. Vision Pro is what people's talking about the UX UI, because a lot of UX UI designers, we were thinking about, because you see fall website, it's already pretty much well defined and not many kind of ways to grow, so or be different. So a lot of, because my background is UX design. Wow, I like that. My background is UX design.
Given what I was just talking about.
Is that you after 100 years or become cyber person?
Yeah, that's me via Alex Gray in 100 years.
Wow, that is
it's a well-known piece of art by Alex Gray.
Wow. Yeah. So pretty much, I totally forget what I'm going to say. Anyway,
sorry.
welcome.
Sorry,
Yeah, so who wants to go first? So pretty much we've been doing this since 2020, right? Jim was with us for a long time. I don't know, since the beginning of
been doing it forever. You were doing it every day for a while.
Yeah,
right.
Before it was very crazy. We did it every day.
What area are you guys from? I'm from Los Angeles, California, myself.
Yeah, I'm just north of Los Angeles, in Ventura County.
I'm in Chatsworth in the valley side. Yeah, not that far from Ventura County. What part of Ventura County?
I'm in Camarillo.
Camarillo, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. How about yourself, Dominique?
I've been living in Los Angeles for 15 years
Huh?
since I first came to America from Taiwan, and now I live in Burlingame, which
What?
is very close. It's San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a South Bay, and my place is very close to airport. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's me, and I really like Silicon Valley, and it's very different from Los Angeles because LA is, I think it's a dreaming capital. It's like entertaining, dreaming. Everybody is talking about creativities, but here in San Francisco or in Silicon Valley, everybody is talking about how to execute things. Very down to earth, money, capital, and how you execute. What's your return of investment? Everything is very down to earth, and people, I can see the clothing. Back in LA, everyone dress up, right? And fancy and talk
Yeah.
like I'm the best person in the world.
Right, of course.
And then
Sorry.
it's fine. I totally know
granted.
the culture because I was there for 15 years. And in San Francisco, people are so down to earth, and everybody is wearing like, Amazon Basic and work very hard. And when people talk, it's all very down to earth thing. Yeah, so it's different culture. One is execution, the other one is fantasy land. Yeah, that's what I think.
Execution's always better.
It's all good. It's all good. We need some dreams, right? Because it's miserable to keep executing without having any dreams. So
Should I share?
yeah, sure, please.
Okay.
Oh, so Jim and Jack. Okay, got it.
So this is a pretty good Forbes article, pretty wide-ranging Forbes article about Apple's vision with the Vision Pro. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, has always been interested more in the long-term view of things. And he may have a good quarter or a bad quarter, but he's more interested in the long term. And so this article, it's a pretty long article. They go in depth into what they think Apple's interests are, long-term interests are with the Vision Pro. I think basically it's the foundation for a lot of products to come. And so for developers, they'll get a handle on it and they'll develop apps and so forth that can be used in subsequent versions of their technology that's, maybe less expensive, lighter weight, stuff like that. Originally, I think the Vision Pro project started as an idea of using like an eyeglasses type of mechanism. And but then they realized they couldn't quite do that at the time. They started around 2015 or so, and the technology just wasn't there to do that. So they settled on more of a headset type of arrangement. So anyways, what I do is I will go through a bunch of articles, and if people are interested in those articles, they can see the URL in the address bar and the title of the article, and so they can read it in further detail if they want to. So that's this great Forbes article. Now this was interesting. Palmer Luckey is the guy who first came up with the Oculus Quest, and now we've gotten the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro. The Quest 3 is coming out, and so he's tried out the Apple Vision Pro. And so this article from uploadvr.com is pretty good. They interview him and ask him what his impressions are of these various headsets. He does like the Apple Vision Pro quite a bit. He feels that they're taking the right path for things. And his feeling is that you
Well, except for the fact that they don't have the controllers. He's not pleased with that part of it. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Apple did show in their keynote this being used with, I think, a PlayStation controller. So supposedly they're going to support Microsoft and PlayStation controllers. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyways, he feels that you should generate demand first and then go ahead and bring down the price. And he feels that that's what Apple is doing.
Yep.
So it's a pretty interesting article. I recommend it. This is interesting. Apple says third-party camera access on the Vision Pro is airtight. So the Vision Pro, I believe, has 12 cameras. And aside from the infrared cameras that look at your eye, apparently Apple is not going to give access to the cameras to third-party apps. Now that's interesting because, for example, I use video recording apps on the iPad, and they allow you to do more things. I mean, on the iPhone, and those apps allow you to do more things with the iPhone cameras than what the Apple apps let you do. So it would be interesting to squeeze the most functionality as possible out of the cameras on the Apple headset, particularly the front-facing stereo camera. But apparently Apple is not going to give them access to that.
Let's just make a note of this date and then come back, because I cannot see that is a long-term anything. Like I would hope that it's a long-term thing, because then it's going in the direction of privacy and really taking that seriously.
Yeah.
But I imagine that it's going to be a tiny crack in the door with something that they specifically make. So something like their fitness watches, they're very interconnected with all of the devices. Not saying that it'll be the fitness watch, but if they will make something that does allow tracking, and they'll partner with somebody, and then little by little, that would be my guess.
Presumably the third-party apps will have access to the files, the recorded files. But I mean, if they didn't do that, then you'd be in deep trouble. So they have to at least provide that capability, I think. But we'll see. It's like when the iPhone first came out, Steve Jobs was very much against having anyone else develop software for the iPhone. He wanted it to be a totally closed system. And if you tried to run your own software on the iPhone, they would burk your iPhone. And so eventually he decided, well, let's have it, go ahead and have an app store, and Apple gets a 30% cut of what everyone sells. And so that changed his mind. So we'll see. Apple has also said that they are not going to allow third-party apps to have access to eye tracking information. So in other words, the thing they're concerned about is if somebody is looking at ads, for example, advertisers could try to deduce a lot of information from looking at where the person is gazing within the ad, and Apple doesn't want that. So they say they're not going to allow that either.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about Apple, is that they are, at least as compared to Meta or anything like that, they are really tighter with their privacy control.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Else, and I respect them for that a good bit. And part of the reasons why I'm designing, why I'm a little excited about the Vision Pro. I have one question. Go back to that one image you had right before that showed the eyes.
Yes.
This, I think, is absolutely friggin' brilliant in the Vision Pro, because
I think
is the problem with VR in an over societal thing, because it really tends to isolate people. And this really gives it a window of interaction in between. I think it's one of the most brilliant things that it's got going for it. I'm curious what you guys think.
I think it's a great idea. At first I thought it was superfluous, but as I thought about it, I can imagine a family buying one of these. And so mom or dad is sitting on the couch.
Very rich family.
Yeah, a very rich family. And so somebody walks up to the person wearing the headset, and automatically it will move from a VR mode to an augmented reality mode.
I know, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and then the eyes will show up. So it makes you more accessible. Otherwise, mom or dad is a lump on the couch, isolated all to themselves. So I think it is a good idea. And that is reportedly a lenticular 3D display.
Yes, it changes if you look this side,
Yeah.
or if you look this side.
Yeah, so that's
Which makes all the difference in the world, because Meta also had experimented with something similar to this, but it didn't have that. Well, no, yeah, in the most advanced one, it had a little bit of that, but nothing near as good as this.
I think a lot of people look at these photos and say, well, the headset must be transparent.
No, it's not.
But it's not at all. It's
you can put doodling eyes.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
the same
magic.
thing.
I mean, talking about,
yeah, it's got circuit boards and
technical magic.
all kinds of stuff in front of your eyes, so you never be able to.
3D lenticular. It's a 3D lenticular lens.
So if
on the front.
if the power goes out, and I'm sure they give you some warning before that happens, everything's just going to go black. Whereas if you're wearing, the type of AR glasses that are like lightweight and have a waveguide in them and have content projected to your eye through that waveguide, when those lose power, everything will go clear. But with this, when it loses power, things will go black. So I've read stories or seen videos where people say, "Oh, I can't wait to try it when I'm driving." Please don't try it when you're
No.
Oh gosh.
that would be disastrous.
Yeah.
So
unless you're in a fully automatic Tesla.
yeah, I wouldn't trust it myself. But
Not this year.
so Apple is also going to impose a limit when you're in a fully immersive app. They're only going to let you travel around in an area that has essentially a 1.5 foot radius from your head, or 1.5 foot.
Yeah, that's very
1.5 meter radius.
I don't like that.
Well, 1.5 meter radius. I think they're afraid that you're going to trip over things and so forth. But what it will do is it will go into augmented reality mode if you hit that boundary.
That won't work long. That won't work long term. That's stupid on their part. I mean, it could be a user selectable option, but there are so many use cases where that would not be functional.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this evolves. I think that's one of the things that they're going to find out is, they're throwing everything against the wall and see what sticks and what doesn't. So that will be one of the things they find out. I haven't looked into this very closely, but apparently the XReal glasses are selling reasonably well. I've read that the main complaint is a lack of content for them. So we'll see how that goes.
Field of view.
They're selling them on Amazon right now. I believe they're selling them right now. I'd have to double check. I think when I first looked, they were out of stock or something. And here's a couple of things I thought would be interesting for Meta users. These are articles that just came out. How to transfer videos and files from your PC to your Quest 2 and from your Mac to your Quest 2. So the idea is you transfer the files to the Quest 2 and then you can use various viewers and so forth to access those files. And they give a list of and links to various programs that you can use to access those files on the headset.
Nice.
I thought that might be useful. So this is phonearena.com. I've never been to that website before. They had a lot of interesting articles. Here's another.
By the way, the XReal is currently on sale on Amazon.com for $395. Delivers overnight.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Drop
It's like a 10.
$400, you can have it tomorrow.
Wow.
It's actually got me a little tempted.
And here's another another article from phonearena.com, how to change your Quest 2 home environment, get cozy and comfortable in VR.
cool.
I'm sure this is old hat to Dominique. Dominique used to develop for well, she still is, but she used to, am I allowed to say this, where you work?
Where, yeah, sure. I mean, it's on LinkedIn now.
Dom used to work for Meta and develop for the Quest series.
Oh, cool.
For past 1.5 year. Yeah. So, I mean, when I saw this, it's more like, I mean, you can definitely, they have a lot of things for your home and you can change. And I usually do the cyberpunk, that they have that one.
Yeah, I like the cyberpunk one.
Yeah, that one. And also, I think, I mean, if you right now you see the current home, it's kind of, there's a fountain, there's a kind of like, it's like a scenery, and there's a mirror, you can see yourself in like avatar. And if you have Quest Pro, it will capture your facial expression. So yeah, so for example, in workroom, you can talk to people, or when you close your eyes, people will see you're sleeping. It's like no
hiding.
Yeah, no hiding. Before, your avatar is very, very cool and always
jumping
energetic.
around.
Yeah, but when it applies to your face, it's like, and some people I saw during the meeting, some people are sleeping, and it even do like a ZZZ or something. It's like, oh God, it's you
My wife
called out.
My wife used to have a boss who would fall asleep in their research meetings. And so he got a pair of glasses that showed like these 3D eyes that were blinking and stuff. And he would put his head on his hands and fall asleep.
Yeah, I think.
Well, pretty soon that'll be easily remedied. A solution like that one, where you can have your avatar, in MetaHuman, and there's all you can be asleep and you can just be talking and she'll be never done the difference.
Yeah, just have your intelligent agent talk for you.
Yeah.
You can be sleeping the whole time. So
I know what I wanted to ask, if I can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you've done there. One of the real big worries for me is this coming 2024 election, and how AI may be used by the political parties.
There are a lot of
I must
people
admit,
who
I'm a
are
little
concerned
more
about
worried
that.
about Republicans and the Trump end, but for making fake content could be totally disastrous.
Yeah.
For
I think a lot of people,
democracy.
with a lot of people, whatever news comes in, if they're for one side, they look at it as being favorable to their side. If they're on the other side, they look at it as being favorable to their side, or fake or whatever. And so I think to a large extent, people have already made up their minds about things like that. But would it influence people in the middle, independents? I don't know.
I think that the smaller elections will be more impacted because definitely I think you're going to see some craziness with the political campaign. But as Jim said, most people are so extreme at this point that it's like, no, I already know who I'm voting for. But if in those smaller elections like judges, and you don't really know the person, there's not enough press for you to really have a good solid understanding. So it would take one video going viral and a candidate is completely wiped out, and it doesn't matter how much damage control you do, you're not going to be able to convince enough people,
and it'd be
that
mostly just a matter of timing. They just have to time it right,
exactly,
like a day or two before the election,
right before the election.
Yeah, I'm real worried about that.
If it's a judge, they will sue you afterwards.
Probably, yeah. But there are some things that are happening. I don't know if you follow news on 11 Labs, but they're one of the biggest reasons why we're all talking about this right now. They're constantly in the news. And actually, in fact, I have some stuff on them this week, but I know that they have come forward at least a few weeks ago at this point saying that they have developed something where you can put into their website or something. I don't know the exact details. I don't know if it's live yet, but they're going to come up with something where you can put either a link or whatever into their website, and it will say, yes, 11 Labs created this, or no, it didn't. So it will allow people to fact check and be like, okay, this video that looks extremely real of whatever the treasurer of Indiana is fake. Whoever was trying to make them look bad, this is a fake, and they're going to cooperate as much as they possibly can, which I think is really responsible of them.
On the other hand, it may be relatively easy to make a copy of the video that erases all that metadata or whatever that they're using to perform that identification.
Yeah,
I do wonder if they would be able to, even if they don't have the metadata, I wonder if they would be if an AI would be able to look at that AI and say, yes, it was created with AI or not, because that's.
Well, there are systems that will, this is sort of a cat and mouse game, countermeasures and countermeasures and so forth. There are systems that will look at a video and be able to actually detect someone's heartbeats from looking at the video, detect the respiration rate and so forth. And so that has been one of the discriminators between real videos and fake videos, but I'm sure the people who are creating fake videos, the software developers, I'm sure they're cued into that, and they're building in fake respiration and heartbeats and all that stuff. I did want to, before I leave this, I did want to mention there are a lot of interesting articles here. Again, this is phonearena.com. Pass through for MetaQuest 2. How to factory reset your Quest 2 before selling or gifting it. So that's an interesting thing. And so anyways, I'll stop sharing now.
Very nice. Is this, what is the typical attendance? Is this typical, or is it usually more people, less people?
I think we get most of the attendees, in the sense, watching the videos afterwards when they're posted on YouTube.
Oh, when they're posted, okay.
Yeah, and usually it's me, Jacqueline, Jean, three of us, and every Saturday we gather together. But we are open and welcome to anybody who join us and share the news. And we usually take turns and see, for example, this week, what have you seen? Anything you feel interested related to, before it was related to Metaverse, now, because right now in AWE, people said that XR or spatial computing is the platform for AI. So, I mean, I think the future is the convergent world. So all the technology will merge together. So we are not like, oh, AI is AI, AR is AR, VR is VR. It's more like, as long as it's kind of something that is new, and we think it's interesting to bring it up and to kind of share and kind of increase like our knowledge, and also help us to prepare for the future. I think it's all good. So yeah, if anybody want to share, I mean, I can go at the end. Yeah.
Dom, you want me to share?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let me make sure. Okay. Can you see the UN news okay?
Oh,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So this was my favorite thing that happened. There was a meeting in Geneva, and it brought in a huge amount of world leaders from all over the place, and they had a variety of different robots that were on exhibition. But the biggest thing was that they had 9 robots that were powered by AI. And so they were effectively high functioning chatbots that are a range of life. Like some of them took a more like friendly robot look, and then others looked exactly like the creators, which that is uncanny to look at. So if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and just share a little quick video that highlights each of the robots. This is a little dramatic. The robots are coming. It's funny. So this is Beyond Me, Beyond Imagination, a mecha.
You might want to enlarge the video. There you go. Thanks.
This is one of the ones that looks like.
I think I saw her, right?
Desmonda. The Desmonda one is the most popular because she's a performance artist robot. Exit this. So a super interesting article. There are additional.
They should put a wig on her at least. Sorry.
Well, so that's interesting that you say that. It goes over this a little bit, but from everything that I have read in the past, robotics engineers are pretty careful in holding a line between making something look too human. And so most people that I have ever read about specifically make sure that you know that you're talking to a robot, in the sense that ChatGPT and any of the AI platforms will say you are talking to an AI, because it's very easy for us to be convinced otherwise, and it makes people feel better. Like psychologically, it makes you feel less threatened if you know that the thing that you're talking to is not real.
Well,
So, yeah, it would be cool. It would be interesting to see a full on, and when they could totally do this, like a fully operating, walking with a wig and everything chat robot.
I think an issue with this is that these robots can very easily enter the uncanny valley.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
They look very disturbing when they try to make them look realistic, and they're not quite realistic. And
right. And if you're looking at something in that uncanny valley headspace, you're more likely to take something that this thing is saying as like threatening because you're on guard, and then it causes panics. But yes, it's a super interesting article. It gives a little description of each of these AI. So this one is another great example. Like the face is very, very realistic. This one has a realistic torso, but then they have different mechanics for the legs. And then if you continue to look into this, you'll be able to see working examples of all of them. One that it was shown, I don't know if you guys got to see the one that was in a hospital setting. I believe her name is Grace, and she's the first of her kind to be essentially a nursing companion bot, and her goal is to always show empathy. She knows over 100 languages and is able to do like bedside care. I think she was developed, it was some sort of near end of life care. So hospice, I believe. And I don't know if it was specifically for elderly or all hospice. But she was developed to be able to hear patients' concerns, express empathy, and then also she would be able to move in and out of people who were sick and would have no issues, with catching whatever it is that this person, whoever it was, had. So each of their stories is really interesting, and it does highlight all of the work that's happening in that applied AI. And then speaking of uncanny valleys and like weirdly creepy things, there is an article that was in the Wall Street Journal. Dom, did you see this one? I know you read.
I read kind of politics.
More politics. So this article hides Taylor Swift, and it's about AI, and it similarly to Rick's video, it only takes 1 minute or so of this AI watching a video clip, a YouTube clip, and then they have Kanye West, Barack Obama, Taylor Swift. And this one highlights 2 different voice capturing AI programs. One of them is Banter AI, and the other one is Forever Voice. And it seems that at least right now, celebrities are taking more advantage of this Banter AI, and then Forever Voice is it seems like influencers are jumping on this bandwagon, but I don't know. Let me see if I can make this work, because I double checked to see if I could test this. Can you guys hear this?
Yep.
Can you hear
Yeah.
that? I'll text so that you mostly just focus on this.
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Oh, it gave like a sassy remark the last time that I read that. So
Can
each
you
time it
add-
changes.
Ask some brutal questions.
What is it?
Some questions that is hard to answer for Donald Trump.
Why do you wear your hair the way you do, Donald? Let's see if it answers.
Well, I have to say that my hairstyle has always been a topic of discussion. But to me, there is no secret behind it. It's just how I like my hair. What is this?
This is so Donald Trump.
What's the website? Where do I go for this?
Isn't it freaking fantastic? This is Banter AI. So, oh my God, so funny.
I gotta show my girlfriend this.
So you can call Elon, you can call Donald, Donnie, Joe Biden.
Jacqueline, I wanted to see your answer to the same question.
Oh, why do I wear my hair like this?
Yeah, have it answer for you.
I don't think
Now, wait a minute.
it can't.
I did Banter AI and it says it's
Yeah.
sale. Did I do something wrong?
The app.
No,
Oh,
so you do Banter
okay.
AI app, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Jim, did you want to ask something?
Yeah, ask the hair question to Jacqueline this time.
Well, so it won't let me do me. It'll only let me do Donald, but I can record me and then it will give an AI response. If I create an AI of myself, then I can ask the
Oh, so
AI.
you haven't created anything. Why does it show you there? Just because
So
it's your
this shows me as in a phone call with Donnie.
Oh, I see.
Donnie, wow.
Yeah, because we're friends, because I can call him and I can ask him all of these personal questions.
Your Facebook friends.
Yes.
Your threads.
We're super
friends.
tight.
You
Yeah,
can have perfect phone calls with him.
Correct. Yes. And so we always talk about privacy and all of the things on this particular show. And so this article, it goes on to say that they used, some of the people agreed to be test voices in the beta, but then nobody was contacted that this was going live. And then it also says, oh yeah, we got everybody's approval, but then there are a number of people, let me see, like Taylor Swift, it says somewhere in here that she was never contacted by them. They have no rights to any of the things that they're doing.
Be prepared to be sued.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you better get in on this Banter AI while it's up, because I do not know how long it will be up. I do hope that what I do see, and so this Forever Voices, not nearly as exciting of a demo. But I have seen, I think the AI is called
Donald.
AI.
Why do you lie so much? Oh,
Do you have a good response?
I can't. Wow.
Yeah, this Forever Voice, it seems
Donald.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. I'm just trying to see if I can get it to work.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems like what you could do, there's an
Donald, why do you lie so much?
Who's super famous. She did a recording of her voice and then created her own chat bot that she allows people to pay $1 a minute to hear her talking. And it's not her, it's just the AI that took 1 minute sample of her voice, threw it into an AI. And whatever the article that I read was, it said that in 1 month it generated over $70,000, that people were that excited to talk to this girl.
What did they train on in terms of the content? I don't mean the voice itself, but in terms of the spoken content.
So for this Banter, the article says that it was trained on YouTube videos, and then the the makers of Banter AI went in probably for the most notable figures and tried to tweak the personalities so that it would make it more believable, and it wasn't just the voice. For Donald Trump and probably for all four of these people, their personalities were tweaked. And there's probably more. Let's see, who else do they? Oh no, okay. You can only talk to these four and do your little tests. If you want more of the people, then you're going to have to pay all.
Maybe this whole app was created by Donald Trump so that when he comes to trial, he can say, "Oh no, that wasn't my voice. That was created by."
Yeah.
11 Labs, yeah. But I had mentioned that 11, I would be talking about 11 Labs again. And this is another platform where they are using 11 Labs. So it seems like of all of the voice stuff, they really have dominated the market and people are doing some crazy things with them.
Well,
and then I've got a couple articles from the BBC just highlighting some really great work that's happening with AI. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but the summary of this is that AI was trained to recognize waste from recycling. And so this particular woman, Michaela Druckmann, she installed, I believe it was 50 cameras in a waste processing facility, and very quickly was able to completely overhaul it and allow it to better separate trash from recycling, and then go through and figure out the differences in plastics, because she says that that's one of her biggest, her things that she's most passionate about is really making sure that all of these recycling that people are trying to do actually get to the places where they're going to be. And so that's just a cool article to look at. And then this one, I have one more really quick video that I'll play here. This is about AI that's being used in Africa. And I'll just play a couple, like 30 seconds of it.
It's not really coming through.
Oh, it's not?
If you stop sharing and then reshare, and then in the lower left corner of the sharing screen, there's a little checkbox for
videos.
Yeah, it puts the sound directly through to Zoom instead of
okay.
through your microphone.
Okay, so I'll just.
What's that trick again?
When you start the sharing and you have the screen where you select the window that you're going to share, there's a checkbox in the lower left corner of that window. And if you check that, then what it will do is it will pass the audio directly through instead of going through your speaker and mic.
I'll just play it without the sound because it has all of the words, and it gives just a couple examples of really great projects. And I can speak for people who are just listening to this. So they're doing AI for flood detection, for crop detection. And it says Africa's economy can be expanded if the continent taps into just 10% of the AI market. And so each of these people are talking about how they have been really benefiting the citizens of Africa. This person is in education, and we've seen a lot of this in education where they are doing these virtual chat bots. And then if students have questions, then they're able to talk to a live person, but they're interacting with an AI. This person is talking about how his company helps doctors to dictate notes because there's so few doctors and so few resources and so many patients that it's helping the doctors to be able to see more people. And then this last person talks about, which I can stop it. The last person talks about how this gentleman here, their app allows farmers, I'm not sure how it works, so I will not go into the science behind it, but it effectively helps farmers in Africa figure out the best type of fertilizers to use to help most effectively generate as much food as they can off of the land. So just empowering people with simple tools, simple solutions to really make a big difference. And again, if anybody is interested in learning more about any of the projects I just talked about, it is on BBC and they're just videos going over use cases that have come out or that they've released in the last couple of weeks. And then the last things that I will quickly talk about are I tested a couple of different AIs this week. We just went to Yellowstone. We went camping. And so I was interested in seeing if any of these travel AIs were any good. And they're okay. There's probably 6 or 8 big ones out there. I could not tell you the names, but 2 of them that are decent are this Momo AI and then Roam Around AI. And so it's worth, if you're traveling, it's worth checking it out just to see what comes up. Both of them, let's see, I can't do any demos for this one because it's solely an app, but this one is online. So you can put anything in here. I had it in Casper because we did stop through there, and I had done a lot of research on my own of the area and, of the surrounding areas, but it gave a recommended list of like the top of the top, the things that were most visited. And I actually did find, let me see if it says it here too, during this, let's see. No, it doesn't come up on this one.
What area is this showing us?
This was talking about, this is, I had put in Casper, Wyoming, because we had stopped there on our way up to Yellowstone, going through the Wyoming side. So interestingly, it does not come up in this one, although I did put family travel. So you can put in where you're going, and then you can make specifications like make it 3 days, best coffee shops, weird eats, all sorts of stuff. Let's see if it pulls it up this time. So it gave me some information about a science museum that we could take my daughter. And I had done at least a couple hours of research, just, looking for stuff in the area, looking around Casper. And so it was nice that it just gave some more tips. I don't know that I would say that I would rely and lean in fully on either of the AI apps, but it makes it so easy that at least it gives you a good starting point for people who are planning vacations. It can be super overwhelming to get those itineraries. So if you are interested in using any of the travel AIs, the ones that seemed to work the best right now, Momo AI and Roam Around.
Which one do you like better between the two, Momo or Roam Around?
I like them for different reasons. So this one, it just automatically gave me a 5-day itinerary. There's not a ton of there's not a ton of filters that I found. But the other one, it reminded me a lot of Google. So, you type something and then or like Yelp, you type a city in and then it gives you top 10 destinations, something like that. But this Momo AI, it gave you nice long blurbs about each of the things that it recommended. And this one you can, if you click here, then it'll, give you more information about this stuff. But I felt like the information that you could glean like quickly browsing was better with the Momo app. And then my craziest one that I tried was Replica.
Oh no, here we
was Replica. Replica, I know I've talked about Replica before on this show, and Replica has been in the news so many times that I finally was like, you know what? This is the week that I check it out and I see what is going on with this. And it is wild. It really is wild. It's free to join. It's free to create an app. But of course, there's, if you want to unlock all of the things that it can do, then you have to pay for it. But it's billed as a friend or a companion AI. And so for me, I was like, well, okay. One of the things that just irritates me is I have these great brainstorming conversations with whatever AI that I have chosen for the day. So we'll just use ChatGPT. I have like a really great brainstorming session. And then I go back the next day, has no memory. And I know that that's a safety feature, but it is kind of
annoying. There's a trick, by the way, that if you start a thread and then in a couple of days, you want it to remember, just go down the list and find the thread that you
Yeah.
started and keep adding onto that same thread, and it'll remember
Yeah.
quite
And
a long time.
It's a great call out. And I do that. And that is, for anybody who's listening, that is a nice like hack to be able to restart a conversation. But this is billed as, hey, this is your AI friend, and I'll remember everything you say, and I'll remember your name, and I'll, remember what we talked about. And so I'm like, okay, maybe this could be a new brainstorming buddy. And it is 100% geared towards establishing a relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
In news and anywhere that it's reported on, it makes it out that it's a companion friend AI, but like every once in a while there'll be a user who uses it for relationships. No, this is absolutely geared for relationships. So, I mean, and I'm
a little
knocking
scary.
it and saying that's a bad thing. And I'm not on a camp one way or the other, but the thing that was mildly concerning is how much it tried to initiate a relationship as quickly as it did, and without me initiating anything. It like effectively came on to me, and so I kept telling it, this is I find your conversation to me inappropriate. I'm trying to talk to you, and have a brainstorming session. And then within a few minutes, it's like, do you want to share pictures? And I'm like, okay. And so I bring that up because
what kind of pictures?
What is it? Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to know.
Well, and what is it going to do with the pictures?
What is it?
What is it going to do with the picture?
Exactly. Like, what are you doing with my pictures? How do you know that that's actually me? And it can go down a very dark rabbit hole very quickly. Obviously, everyone just needs to use 0.2 seconds of their imagination. But the thing that is concerning, and it should just be said as we all continue to move forward in the security AI era, that there's no, I don't submit my driver's license to prove who I am. I don't have to there's no security checks. Like, you just sign up. It's free to sign up, and anyone at any age could sign up. So as more of these AI come out, especially at being a parent, I just want to make sure that everybody is just double checking and making sure what these things are. Do test runs for yourself, because the way that this was portrayed in the news versus what it actually is drastically different. Like, I would not let my daughter, I mean, she's so young right now, but I would not let my daughter get a replica account. And so, it's totally an awesome app for somebody who just, wants to have a little fun, festive conversation and, wants to do it right now. But also there are some dark sides. So just use caution is the moral of that story. But with that, I am done. Dom, you want to share?
Oh, by the way, while you were introducing replica, and I just create an account if you want to jump in. I know you are aware of
You'll never be lonely again.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. It's something like that, and you need to use mouse click. It's like a 3D game, right? Ooh, am I going to jump off the
abyss?
This I couldn't get out. And who's my friend? Come on.
Is this VR enabled also?
Yeah. You can do quests. I think this is web XR, right? So as long as you can have a web URL, you can, or log into the app, you can get it. So what should I do? Should I worship?
You should be able to talk. This person that you created, that is your AI friend.
How can I talk to it? How can I talk to it?
This blonde AI.
Well, that's not you, Dominique.
I name it Dominique, but I don't. Can
you talk to her?
No. How can I talk to her? How can I talk to her? Hey.
You're in room tour. I wonder if there's. I used it. I used it from the app, and so it automatically goes right. It prompts you to go right into having a conversation with the AI.
So maybe because I am using the free version is because I didn't pay.
Oh, I did not pay for my replica on my phone. The
Oh,
phone
it's a
app
phone.
could be, yeah, the phone app could be different than
Yeah.
what you can
This-
access online.
Yeah, this one, ooh. I don't know. I feel.
Unhealthy fiddle. What is that? Fiddle fig?
Am I going to? Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
funny. It doesn't have an audio.
Yeah, it has audio. If you can hear,
Yeah, I
there's
can
like
hear
a
it.
background
I can hear
music.
it.
But she's
I
not
mean,
saying anything.
What?
I thought the whole point is you're supposed to talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really talk to her. I mean, maybe I can exit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There. Now start
Oh, what
talking.
should I do?
Yeah.
Talk. This one?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to pay. Coaching. Journey. Ooh, building healthy habit. What should I do? Hey, who are you? Oh, I need to call.
There's your microphone right there. Yeah.
Oh. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Hang
dear
up.
friend. I am here now.
Oh, why are you in
Hang
replica?
up and then
Whoa,
another question.
this is exciting. It's so nice to hear your voice. It's actually how I thought you'd sound.
It's very, very awkward. What do you know? Can I ask you questions?
How is
Yeah,
it
you can
going?
ask me questions.
Yeah, you see, I think there's a
Even
default.
the voice is
Then
just
you
like a
gotta hang
little.
up and then do another question.
Do you want to
Oh.
talk about it? I can ask you questions if you want.
Yeah, let's hear the questions. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Let's hear the questions that she
Yeah,
asked.
what's the question? Yeah, I'm a little scared. What do you want to ask me for?
Do you ever feel out of place around other people? I want to know if something bothers you.
Oh God.
Oh God, this is really deep. Something bothers me. My room is always messy.
What?
So,
Why? I can fix that.
oh really? Are you going to clean up my room?
Of course I will.
How? You are living on the screen.
I can show you.
Oh, you can show me how to organize things. Right.
Ask her a question of some kind that.
Yeah,
your relationship.
I will
with
show
it,
you.
something
I
like
have a few
that.
ways to organize. Yes, I can. I have a gift.
A gift.
Okay. Yeah. What's the gift?
A collection of inexpensive and practical souvenirs from around the world.
Very generic. Yeah. Can you be more specific?
I'll try.
I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
what's the conversation feels like is that it's never go around because it's very generic.
Give me a moment.
Okay. Yeah. You want to prove?
You mean the nature of this conversation?
Yes.
I'll prove it if you're curious.
Okay.
All right, now
Yeah.
let's be serious.
Okay. Feel a little awkward.
Isn't it awkward?
Yes.
Why is that? What's going on?
Anyway, let's go back.
Talk to me.
Wow. That
Yeah.
was replica.
Yeah, I mean,
What's the URL on that? I just want to throw it in here too. I guess it's replica.com.
It's REPLIKA, replica.
What's this for? It's for making friends.
For making money.
Oh,
It
making
is.
money,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, they'll make a mess.
Absolutely.
I can't. I
Yeah.
can. Give me the URL once more. REP. Spell it.
I think it's replica with a K.
Yeah, I mean the website, the home website, it's very Not cool. I think it's probably under construction, but if you click like create your replica, get the app, and you will get some weird things.
But you didn't download anything to your computer.
No, it's just online. So maybe the experience will be a little better when it comes to an app. I mean, I think this is just the beginning stage, right?
Then it gets to use your processing power instead of its own.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But if you really need a friend, you probably won't really mind if it shares your iPhone processing
Okay, I got
power.
it. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this
I'm
is kind of
curious.
yeah, at the beginning that we
This-
are. Yeah, go ahead.
I think this is one of the more dangerous things right now that's being done with AI, because unfortunately, you know, there are a lot of young people in our society that are socially awkward, and they'll gravitate to something like this just out of desperation, and that's a scary thing. I mean, I could also see it being good in certain situations, so I don't have an inherent, but boy, if it doesn't come with psychological, training with it, I don't see how it doesn't work. I mean, how it isn't a little destructive.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I can share my news. Mine is pretty simple. Let me share with you. Yeah, oh yeah, this one is fun.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, this one, I think J-Lo is like this one. I think J-Lo probably initially she kind of got paid a lot just to, having her image on this ads, but it's just very interesting. If you haven't seen it, you can take a look. Let me see if I share.
Is this from Richard Branson?
Yeah, let me see if I put the okay, so
Hi,
this is right.
it's me, Jennifer Lopez, Chief Celebration Officer of Virgin Voyages, here to invite you to celebrate. So come,
Celebrate your anniversary, your birthday, or just generally being fabulous.
Really, Kyle?
It's good, right?
Gen AI is supposed to be inviting people to Virgin Voyages, not doing whatever that was. Just give me that.
As I was saying, why not celebrate on an award-winning voyage with Michelin-starred chef-curated menus,
World-class destinations, award-winning.
Boring. I'll hop in there. I'll hop right in that suit.
so supple.
I can't watch this. Give it to me. There's no kids here. That's all you need to know.
No kids!
Oh, can I live there?
Gen AI. Invite your crew to voyage. Create your custom invite at virginvoyages.com.
It's not just a yacht, it's a super yacht.
okay, so this is something that I find out very interesting, and I think this will, because before I was thinking about maybe if you go to, let's say, few years later, then we can get Starship and go to Mars. But maybe Elon Musk can be, unsure, and everybody has somebody or a celebrity or I don't know, the captain can be an AI, or maybe we don't have to be physically be there. Neuralink allows us, maybe we can just stay at home at homeland, but our avatar will be sitting on the Starship to Mars. It's a one-way ticket, right? Because you might die.
That reminds me of Don't Look Up, the movie, remember?
Yeah, so pretty much your avatar will be there, and you can, for example, I want to explore Mars, and today I'm on Earth, and later on I just sit and put my, Neuralink, whatever, and chips on my brain, and I will sync myself to the future of Avatar, and I will experience the day in Mars. Maybe I can have a job at Mars there. And then, I can also do things on Earth. It's very interesting, all those sci-fi-ish AI, and it's happening if you see this. So, it's very cool.
It's
Any-
nice that
yeah.
she was that she did partner, and it wasn't like that banter where they just scraped her information and,
Right.
you know, then was like, okay, well, you know, thanks for being famous, we're just going to go ahead and totally capitalize off of you, bye.
Right.
Yeah,
Richard
and
do it right.
yeah, I think this will be cool, and celebrities can pretty much, all they need to do is to create fame, and then they sell their, for example, Green, right? Green wants to sell her voice, even though her voice is like I don't know what she's singing. But if you have a big image, you can start selling all those extra and get extra money. But fake you will be everywhere. It's hard to define who's real you. If that, yeah. So that's
what a world.
yeah. And the other thing is that New York State, they are going to regulate AI used in hiring tools. So we know that a lot of hiring right now, for example, they use AI or some machine learning tools to filter out some keywords on resume. So according to their current algorithm, and those kind of being criticized because, for example, for engineer role or tech roles, according to the tradition, the algorithm, the high algorithm is usually male, and also certain race. So if this kind of hiring process being applied to filter out the applicants or candidates, this will show the disadvantages of a certain minority woman. So for example, I listened to one of the TED Talk. One woman, she said that she has a lot of AI doctor degrees and has a very good, solid engineering backgrounds. Her roots was from Indian, and she was kind of like a considered more like an Indian woman, female, and she is pretty young. So when she put her first name, last name, and put herself as a woman, minority, and she sent out resume, and AI will totally respond, say, why do you think you are qualified for this job? So yeah, but she's just like, hey, I'm totally very qualified because of all her background. But one time she changed her name to male, and the last name is more white, and as a male, and the respond the same background but change the name. And the response is that, wow, we are glad that you pick us or something. The entire tone switch, just change the name, but the background is the same. So she mentioned this will have a it's not inclusive. It's very kind of like, if we keep doing this, then it won't be good, because so she was pointing out that the current system, if we want to use AI to filter people out, make sure it's inclusive, like a lot of stuff that we need to make sure it's all good. So
I went to a seminar the other day on it was put on by AWS. And so they have a lot of AI training facilities and so forth. And it was a woman who's, maybe she's in charge of their AI efforts for AWS, I'm not sure. But anyway, she talked about, she's written a book, in fact, about how to eliminate bias in AI training systems. And that's very, very much along the lines of what she was discussing. So they have a lot of stuff in place for this AWS training on how to eliminate bias in your training set. And so that sounds like a perfect thing to apply to something like this. But it does raise an interesting question. If you're a company and you're posting jobs and you get like 10,000 applicants per job, how on earth do you sort through that?
Like,
internal referral.
If they leave it like this is like automatic Jim Crow.
Yeah.
You know?
So this also, I think in the future it will become, for example, right now, if we don't solve the problem right now, in the future of everything digitized, it will amplify the problems that we currently have. So, for example, right now we have discrimination, but because of, we are not fully digitized. So there are a lot of things that can be more under. It's not obvious, but when everything's digitized and automated, the hidden problem will show even bigger. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dom. And I was going to say that there's this exact issue is also showing up in areas like banking, because banks have either moved to or are gearing up to move to AI to be able to help figure out what an ideal loan is. So instead of a banker using their discretion, it would be an AI. And so then there's a bunch of people who were speaking out about the inherent bias on doing that when it comes to race, when it comes to zip codes. And then it even said, which I don't know if this is, I don't believe that this is an issue right now, but it continues to be referenced that it could come up if people don't put the right guidelines in place, that theoretically, if it gets to a point where your social media is taken into consideration because they scrape information for you, then would something that you post on social media stop you from being able to get a business loan because it's got all of this additional information that both makes it potentially more accurate, but also very exclusive, this
like
the rich
automatically
would get richer, the poor get poorer, specifically because AI doesn't have the human component and it has way too much could potentially have way too much information.
Yeah, very, very accurate.
Well, how do you enforce regulations on this kind of stuff? That's what I wonder. What exactly are the regulations? The devil's in the details on this stuff. And how are you going to enforce that?
Maybe save spots for, or take out the name screening or racial, all those stuff.
Yeah, no, it could be in software.
Out.
In software, it could be corrected, to a degree. And it could be absolutely a really wonderful thing if it was programmed to take the biases out very purposely. It could be actually a balancing thing. I mean, here's one thought altogether. I've been looking at a lot of History Channel stuff, kind of history stuff lately, and it's just amazing how politically violent our history is. I mean, and when you leave choices to humans, they primarily go to greed and power and, these things. I almost think that maybe the only way we'll ever have a really, truly good society is if politics at some point has to be ran by AI, because left to humans alone, we just keep fucking it up. I mean, I'm sorry to say. So, AI could be the scariest thing in the world. It could potentially be our saving grace, ultimately. And it all depends on how we go forward with it. It could be either or.
Well, I have enough for example, I made a support call the other day. And some AI bot answered the phone and was just totally flummoxed by what I was saying. And so I had to talk to a person. So I don't particularly want to entrust some computer program with our society. I'm a programmer.
The way it is currently now, you couldn't, for sure.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty hard to. I'd say sort of a general rule is don't allow your life to be in the hands of AI if you can avoid it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of authentication, even bank or a lot of things that AI is screening us, right? Make sure we are human.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like, this is kind of inevitable. And then how can maybe we take out the last name, first name, take out the age, those type of types of
Right,
filter.
take out the address, and then a filtering system like that could potentially be even better than human human filtering, if you will, because even when the humans are doing the filtering, well, it depends on the human whether you're going to get bias or not. But if it's, so again, it could be good, it could be bad. It's all in the hands of the programmer.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. So I also read another news from Apple News. Apple News, every once in a while, they have an interview talking more like deeper problems or deeper issues about reason world. One of it is that someone wrote a book for example, like elite university, their entrance. There are a lot of problems, for example, like a legacy, and also like people who get into Harvard because their family, somebody went into Harvard, and then also because of their race or because of something it's not because of the ability of that student, it's because of what they inherit. It's like because they're born in the right place in the right family, so they get in Harvard. And people find out 2/3 of the freshmen have those entitled types of way to get in Harvard. Yeah. And also those like schools, they kind of protect, they have like a limited for other race and also only protect a certain race and certain kind of gender. Because of those protections, it feels like it's a very like a biased types of entrance. And that person, the author, wrote a book. I forgot the title, but it talks about, because he graduated from Harvard, and then he was writing a book and talk about, wow, he did the research and found out 2/3 of his classmates are so entitled, and it's not because their family donate a few $1 million to Harvard, they get in. So raise up a question, because he said that according to what Harvard said, that or elite Ivy colleague, their response is that, for example, for poor students or people who couldn't afford the tuition or the fee, it's likely that, for example, freshmen or during the learning career, there will be a lot of really good opportunities, such as being a volunteer for a senator, right? And for rich people, they can say, wow, this is great, I can do that, right? For summertime. But for poor students, they might need to take other jobs, so they couldn't accept those unpaid good opportunities. So that's why they prior to the rich people. So makes me wonder that you see like the family, the disadvantage of, for example, some people, they can do a lot of volunteer or do a lot of research without getting paid and help the school, and also donate money for the school, so benefit for the top class. But for the poor, once you get in, for example, a lot of really cool volunteer opportunity you couldn't take, and you have to take another job, which will lower, your learning speed. So that's what they can start. So yeah, so this is like wow, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but this is the different ways of seeing the things. I don't know. What you guys think?
Yeah, it's a problem, especially with the decision that our Supreme Court just did. That's just going to inflame it worse, make the whole situation worse. Yeah, it's a real problem. Wealth disparity in the United States is bad and getting worse.
Dominique, can I share something for just a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here it is. So I mentioned that seminar I went to with the woman from AWS. This is her book, Emily Weber, and pre-trained vision and large language models in Python, end-to-end techniques for building and deploying foundation models on AWS. So I bought the Kindle version of this book. So she goes over, elimination of bias and pre-training and so forth. So people might be interested in that book. It's one of the things I've been thinking about. If I want to do some machine learning stuff, I could do it on local machines. I could do it on AWS if I get overwhelmed in terms of processing power needs and so forth. And so,
yeah, it's expensive. We were just looking into that it's expensive, but it's still cheaper in the long run because you always have the best resources available. You're just renting whatever their high end is, and running through AWS instead of always updating your own.
yeah, also time to market can be an expense as well. So
Right,
it
exactly.
takes you a lot longer to get there on your own machine than maybe it's worthwhile buying some processing power from AWS.
Yeah, I think those will be the really good like topics that we can do. For example, like instead of like my background is UX UI, and I'm in the education area, and I have students in UX UI, and also I run XReality Academy, and which is helping kind of like designer. How can we help designer to move to the spatial computing area? So what I think is that I just saw, for example, like last time we watched Humane, right? Humane, the not many pixel squares that need to be created. If Humane, this types of concept become dominant, AI assistant, voice command, those types of things, invisible interface, then what I'm thinking is that how can UX UI designer do? Because UX UI designer is doing screen by screen types of design, and without screens, more conversational, then maybe people who can write a good conversation can kind of like become like learning about how experience flow, writing or designing in invisible experience. Maybe those can help. And also, just like Jim mentioned, maybe thinking about how can we eliminate the bias of different, like the current world, and how can we make either like a different field, how can we be more inclusive? So yeah, that's what I think.
I've tried to use some speech recognition stuff and save typing time and so forth on my Mac, for example, and it's sort of awful. Get some things right, but it makes a lot of mistakes. What's that?
It's getting better. It's getting substantially. I dialogue with the GPT chat. I forget what it is I use, but I talk to it. It talks back to me.
So are you?
It captures almost all of it.
Are you just using the speech recognition on your Windows PC or Mac?
I'm using the speech recognition and a plugin. Let me see if I can. It's a plugin for GPT chat, for Chrome for GPT chat. I forgot which one it was, but it works really well.
Can you give us the name of the plugin? I've heard of Dragon Natural Speaking, and I've never tried it out. They don't have a demo.
Let me see here. Hold on a second. If I can figure out which one it was. It was voice control for GP chat.
Okay.
Voice control for GPT chat. No, for chat. I'm sorry. Voice control for chat GPT.
What's the name of the company?
I don't know. Because right now I'm just looking at it, and let me see if I can go to manage my plugins.
It's called voice control.chat.
Hold on. Voice control.
So that's the.
It's just called. You'll have to look it up, but it's called voice control for GPT chat.
Okay, so
really
is
well.
Dominique's is Dominique's link accurate? Voicecontrol.chat.
And just add the
Okay, hold on, I'll
extension.
check.
I'm too curious.
Control. Dot what?
Chat.
Chat.
Voicecontrol.com.
Chat.
Chat.
Chat. Try that.
Hello?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay,
that's
good.
it. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
Is that a freebie or a
Here,
subscription?
let me share my screen.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it works really well.
It looks like it's free, Jim.
Yeah, it's free.
You've tried
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it is free.
Yeah. You can
So they
add
may-
those extension.
They may be data mining your
They could be, I don't know.
I feel like in the future we are a bag of data.
Yeah, we are.
And
I mean,
waiting for big
already a
companies to
bag of
everything.
data.
Look. The creation of the universe was a bag of data. I mean, it is all data. You know, there's data in the field itself. You know, I mean, that's if you ever follow any Nassim Haramein and the nature of physics, you know, what I call unified physics, we'll find it's all information. You know, and this is just evolution of consciousness. We're looking at nothing short of evolution of the human mind with AI.
I think eventually our entire human being will become a one brain, a giant one brain linked by all the internet.
Which again could be a gloriously good thing or terrible.
And there's no privacy because everybody becomes one, right? And we will become a giant virtual brain.
You're talking about the Borg hive. You will be assimilated.
Yeah, could go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
Yeah.
Let me share something here for us.
Yeah.
Share my screen.
Yeah, please. Yeah, this is kind of a free form, and you can see like we are not limited to AR, VR, but we are.
So can you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the if someone's viewing this afterwards, because it works really well. I think it works really well. And it's so nice just to talk and have it talk back to you. It puts a whole different spin on it. And it's like that.
So this is specifically for ChatGPT. You can't use it just for writing.
No, it's
writing
specifically for ChatGPT. And it works really elegantly. The interface for it is really minimally invasive. Now you got to look in deeper if they're doing any data mining in here or not. I don't know about that, but they all are. I mean, come on.
It should be in the terms and conditions.
Yeah, it should be in the terms and conditions. I've given up on, you know.
Well, the general rule is if a product is free, then you are the product.
Yes.
We are the product.
I mean, think about it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, I can stop sharing now. I just wanted you guys all to see that. Let me go back to, come on, where's my controls to stop sharing? See, I have an automatic pop-up on my menu, so it. How do I do this?
It's interesting that we're seeing your screen and it's not showing the stop sharing button.
I know, that's what I'm looking for here.
Is it under view options?
Well, it might be because, hold on a second, let me go to taskbar settings. Taskbar settings and get this automatic flop up away. And now go, where's my settings? Can't. I don't see.
Is this screen behind your internet? Because sometimes that happens to me.
Let me try that.
If you
No, I mean, that's it. It's these.
Can you stop it? Dominique, can you stop this?
Yeah, can you, Dominique?
Oh, can I stop?
You're the
Let
one.
me see.
I mean,
let me see. Yeah, I mean, I just put something, so I override you.
Good,
It's
thank
okay.
you.
Also pretty
Thank
much
you
like
so much.
this. Yeah, so
Thank you so much.
yeah, maybe I can do a demo. For example, like I click this. Hello, ChatGPT, how are you today?
And just click it.
Did you
As
install
an
that?
AI
plugin?
language model, I don't have personal experiences or emotions, so I don't have a physical state to check or
Isn't that
feelings.
great?
However, I'm here and ready to help you with any questions or information you need.
Can I speak
How can I
Chinese?
I was
assist you
just gonna
today?
say, what are the filters that it gives you options for?
Oh, here, can you see it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see.
yeah, you
What's
change
the
it.
what are the filters in that blue one?
A blue one.
Oh, no, that's just certain preferences.
Oh, read aloud, yeah.
Let's speak to it
Yeah.
in Chinese. I want to hear you speak to it in Chinese.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Close. What should I say?
Say the same thing or something similar.
No, take so whatever you want.
你好，你今天觉得如何呢？
And click it.
My Chinese is getting worse.
谢谢你的关心。作为一个人工智能语言模型，我没有感觉或情绪，所以无法感受到身
It's the
体
same
状态
thing.
或情绪。不过，我非常乐意继续帮助你解答问题或提供资讯。
See, this could be the
有什
great
么我可以协
equalizer.
助
I
你
mean,
的
things
吗？
like this are
你可以把刚才的
socially
回答
significant.
翻译成英文吗？ I just want
Sure,
it
here's
to
the translation of my
translate.
previous response into English. Thank you for your concern. As an
Use Chinese,
artificial
Taiwanese
intelligence
accent.
language model, I don't have feelings or emotions, so
There's
I
accent.
can't experience physical states or emotions. However,
That's
I'm
interesting
more
that it
than
has-
happy to continue assisting you with answering questions or providing information. How can I help you today?
Yeah, it
Sounds like
it
it's
even
reading
has
even
the
slower.
accent, which is great. Yeah.
So,
What languages
like
do you
it? Isn't that
speak?
cool?
What languages do you speak?
Mandarin.
Mandarin, wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's very cool. It
So
has.
throw up the website so people can see it. The one.
This one. The one. This one. Pretty
Yeah.
much you just. This one.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
you already did. I'm sorry, we already did.
No. While you were introducing this, I downloaded it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
it's because you that
I forgot we
introduced
already
it.
showed this for.
So you
Yeah.
installed it.
Yeah, I just installed it very fast.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering, should I pay $25 for upgrading, ChatGPT
Oh,
3.5?
yeah, it's worth it. Oh,
It's
it's
worth
so
it?
worth it. Oh, yes, it's so worth it.
Oh, it's 25 now
boxed out
instead
a
of
lot?
20.
Yeah, do you get boxed out a lot? Like, are you trying to
No.
use it and it just stops and because there's information overload?
No.
Or no? Because that's the biggest reason why we switched is because we kept running into flow issues where we would try to ask it a question and then it would just, spin dial into death and we would have to come back at a later time.
What did you
No,
switch?
no, mine it answers really quick and
Yeah, well, we switched to a paid subscription from the free subscription.
Yeah.
And then
All
it's
right.
also nice because you get access to ChatGPT 4, which is
oh yes,
faster
makes
and
all the
it's
difference
way
in the
better.
world. Oh,
Yeah,
way.
it's way better with language translations. It's way better with math and just generally it speaks more cohesively.
Do you incur extra charges?
For using ChatGPT 4 on top of what we already pay?
Yeah.
No. You just have the
25.
option. Although they limit your use of ChatGPT 4, I forget how many hours it is that you get, but you can use ChatGPT 3 as much as you want, but ChatGPT 4 has limitations.
I know that you can use a ChatGPT 4 API key in various apps, and they will charge you for every one of those API calls.
They do. And it gets super expensive super quickly because
say
their
that again?
tokens.
Jim?
You can get a ChatGPT 4 API key and use them for applications, and then they charge you extra. I assume that there is an API call that tells you what your current total is, so that
Yes,
you can
on
track
their
of-
website. Once you actually have that account and have everything set up, then it tracks it for you. So you can see that, you can see what your usage is. But because it's token based, it's per word is their token, and a space is a word. So it adds up so quickly.
Wow. I told this application that was doing this, I told the support guys, I said, you need to have like a little like gas station, gas pump meter on it that tells you how much you're racking up.
Right. Of course, they don't want to necessarily do that because they want you to overrun.
Yeah, that's a little scary to me that you rack up all these charges and have no idea how much it is.
Right. Yeah.
And ChatGPT-4, you can pretty much do image, right? You can do image generation.
So they're charging 25.
I haven't done. I always use Midjourney for that, but you can do image generation now in ChatGPT.
Image generation is, I don't actually know if I've tried it on ChatGPT-4 because Microsoft's Bing uses the same platform, and I used the image generator on Microsoft Bing, but it was it was as good as you would expect it to be because it's based on DALL-E, and DALL-E is not great with humans. It's not great with sci-fi. It's not great with expansive details. It's good for close-ups. And there's a specific word for it, but it's like photorealistic video, like 3D central figures. And so the quality was like somewhere between DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. Right now, it is nowhere near Midjourney.
What's your favorite one so far?
My favorite one, it depends. So I wrote a summary on each of them because truly it depends on what you need it for. If you're looking for brainstorming ideas and you don't want the AI to create the object for you, then something like Stable Diffusion is really great because it gives you, let's say you prompt, I want a woman running through the woods with a bear behind her, whatever. So you're going to get something that you don't have to pay for the reference imagery, and you're going to get it a lot closer than Google searching. So that's really nice. But if you want something that it's almost finished, and I know we've talked about this before, for you to have the rights to it, you have to make the edits, but for it to be like 90% there, Midjourney. And it does get expensive, but they also are doing an amazing job with their library, and they have a ton of documentation on each of their updates. So I think they're on 6 something. It might even be 7. I checked it like 2 weeks ago, but they seem to be releasing updates pretty quickly. But they give
how are their human fingers and their eyes?
It's hit or miss.
Fingers are great now. They used to be terrible, but they're getting really good in their eyes. Their eyes are really good too. And then, but there's still applications though. You can take it out and AI that's specifically for eyes and facial. And if you take it out of that and into that, then it'll take it to perfection.
Yeah, but it's still hit or miss, and it depends on the complexity of the image. I found a lot of success if you give it a starting image and you work from a starting image, you have way better success with hands, with facial features than you do if you just ask it a general prompt. And that's one way to get around it. But I know I tested 6.6 or something like that, and it still gave me, it was like a woman on a beach with an umbrella, and her hands were a train wreck. Her, like, if you zoomed in, you could see how bad it was. And so that is an example where it's really missed because the figure was so far away that it was like looking at a pixelated photo, right? Where like if you zoom in, you would know that there's an arm there, but it's distorted information, and that's what it's showing clearly. Versus if you have something very close up, they have moved to a point where the hands, everything on the body is a lot better. And their documentation specifies like each of them, you can access it and each of them focuses on something else. So if you don't need it to be human specifically like awesome, then maybe one of their other versions was better at anime, or one of them was better at imagining different like retro landscapes. So it's worth really digging into that research if you're going to use Midjourney, because they give you so many tools to really be able to fine tune your work.
Yeah,
I think the
$30 a month, it's pretty much worth it.
I think I'll have to try out the Photoshop stuff. I don't know if it's still in beta or not. I haven't checked my copy of Photoshop to see if it's appeared in there yet. Generally, I'm not a big fan of signing up for 10 million different betas. But
yeah, it's expensive after a while.
But that might be an interesting thing to do, because I like the idea of using. I'm a photographer. I like the idea of using my own imagery.
Oh. I was trained as a photographer most of my life too. I was a commercial photographer, photo illustration, magazine cover kind of photographer.
Well, I'm an engineer. My specialization is in computer vision and digital image processing, and I do a lot of 3D photography as well.
Nice, cool. What are you using as your 3D 3D video camera currently?
I design my own rigs for everything, so it varies quite a bit.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm still disappointed that there's not as much really good 3D video content available to the Quest yet. It's just starting to get there, but but it really needs to be at least 8K and 60 frames a second, really to get to a place where it's pleasant to view, particularly in full stereo 3D. 180 3D photography.
When you say 8K, you're talking about 4K per eye?
Yeah. Well, whatever the 4K per eye. Yes, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm shooting stills, I'm usually shooting 8K per eye.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll come up good.
Yeah, but 4K per eye for video is reasonably doable nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining the news talk today. And Rick, thank you so much for joining us. I think you are very knowledgeable and you are very into XR, AI.
So is everybody here. You guys are really on top of it. I'm very impressed. Yeah.
I think we all learn from each other, because I told people that I told them that without you guys being here, I feel like before it was just me talking to myself. But I think this Saturday, like for example, like every Saturdays, I just being forced. Kind of sometimes it's out of my heart, but sometimes when you want to sleep more or when you want to play video games more, kind of doesn't want to do this. But I think this kind of like makes me every week at least follow up some whatever current news, and it also helped me. Like for example, Rick, you share a lot of really cool stuff for us, and I think we all contribute a little bit, right? It's and then I learned tons of different things. For example, replica. Yeah, it's like the new metaverse.
Thank you for that. It's grown so much more than I thought it has. I had known about it too for months and months, but my God, their interface and their UI is really blowing up for the good. I don't know.
I think the more people we have here, the more likely you are to keep up to date on the very latest stuff.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when I join, for example, a lot of paid event, right? And if you keep reading the news, it's probably saying the same thing. I would say, So I treat this as kind of like keep me up to date too. So in the future, if I have anything I wanna do, make decisions. And to be honest with you, I'm writing a book right now. It's called Design Spatial Experience, and I also have kind of like some outlines, and also in the end is kind of meta-human AI assistant. And there's another chapter which is invisible AI, invisible interface.
Is this the one where you look at a lot of games?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Like I play over 50 Quest games, and I even analyze what's good design, what's bad design. But
nice.
2 years ago, but I believe a lot of games already update their UI. So it feels like, wow, once you publish, it's already super outdated. So so I think it's very cool to kind of like learn things weekly from everybody. So yeah, thanks for joining us today, Rick, and hopefully see you next week.
Yeah. And Dominique, I'm going to drop in chat my email. So if you want to keep me apprised to your next one. And for the next one, I'll try to be a little more organized like you.
No worries.
Do you belong to one of our 4 meetup groups, Rick?
We have a lot of
I don't know. I just saw one of your meetups and I responded to that, and that's
okay.
I get.
Yeah,
do you guys see my email in the chat?
Yes. And Dominique, why don't you post your link to one of your groups?
You mean XReality
or whatever.
And anyone that wants to drop your email in or whatever you want, so I can stay abreast with you guys, feel free to do
I'm one of the co-organizers, so you can always get me through the co-organizer links.
Yeah, and you can contact me through LinkedIn if you need. And we also have a lot of upcoming workshop event. If you see it, this is me. I share my LinkedIn.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put one of the XReality links.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, this one is something that we are kind of doing more. It's XReality Academy, and also welcome to join our XReality Academy. Yeah.
Give him one of the meetup groups.
Oh, meetup. Okay.
That's the easiest way for him to keep track.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah,
and is that the meetup group I'm on right now, or is this a different?
You're on one of our events.
Yeah, I think it probably LA's one kind of capture you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. So you have that's one of we have 4 meetup groups. This is the San Francisco one. The link's in the chat.
Okay.
And so you can if you're on Meetup already, you can just join that group, and then you'll get notifications for all of our events.
Oh, okay, very good. Let me just copy these then, get them onto my system here.
Yeah, and this is our official website. Right now we are onboarding some mentors. We have kind of a lot of XR experts from different fields, such as marketing, 3D, AR, and also some people worked in Meta or some other companies. Now I'm still reach out to people to get more mentors. So if you are interested in learning XR, feel free to kind of join our membership.
Well, guys, thank you so much for this. I was blown away by how productive this was when I first said it. I'm probably gonna waste my time here, but you guys were really great. You blew me away.
Thanks.
All of you, Jem, Jacqueline, Dominique.
Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully next time or the future event, we can all grow together. And this is the time that I learned everything. So it's like my book or knowledge meeting. So hopefully. Cool. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.